In May 1945, one of the most powerful men in the collapsing German Reich simply vanished without a trace. Hans Kammler was an engineer who commanded the development of the Reich's secret weapons and the construction of its concentration camps. He oversaw the design of Auschwitz and managed the massive underground factories where slave laborers built V-2 rockets. By the final days of the war, Kammler held authority over nearly every clandestine weapons program in Germany. Because of the secrets he held, his disappearance fueled decades of speculation. Historians have spent years debating whether he was extracted by American intelligence, escaped to South America, or died in a forest near Prague. While other high-ranking officials were captured and prosecuted at Nuremberg, Kammler disappeared without a trace. No body was ever recovered, and no official grave was ever marked. While the world searched for a missing ghost, the legal consequences of Kammler's life were forced upon the wife and children he left behind. When the war ended, Kammler's wife, Uta, was stranded in Innsbruck with their children. They were forced to navigate a collapsing nation while carrying a name synonymous with mass death and slave labor. The documented records of the Kammler family reveal 3 distinct paths taken by the people who shared his name. This is a factual study of how a family copes with inherited shame, replacing the speculative theories of a spy thriller with the documented reality of the post-war years. Uta Kammler faced a legal deadlock. Because her husband was officially a missing war criminal, her assets were frozen, and she could not claim any pensions. She needed Hans to be legally dead to secure her children's future. On July 9, 1945, while Allied intelligence was still actively hunting her husband, Uta filed a petition with the District Court of Berlin-Charlottenburg to have him declared dead. Her case was built on sworn affidavits from her husband's driver and his orderly. They claimed they witnessed Kammler commit suicide with a cyanide capsule on May 9, 1945, in a forest near Prague. In 1948, the court officially declared Hans Kammler dead, based entirely on those statements. No physical evidence was presented, and the ruling effectively ended any official investigations into his whereabouts. To survive the post-war period, Uta relied on support from Princess Ingeborg Alex of Schaumburg-Lippe and Stille Hilfe, an underground network created to assist former SS members and their families. Uta's response was one of practical self-preservation. She utilized legal loopholes and unrepentant Nazi networks to sever herself from the legal shadow of her husband's crimes. Jörg Kammler, born in 1940, took a path that was the direct opposite of his mother's quiet evasion. He became a Marxist political scientist and a professor, dedicating his career to the study of the German resistance and the crimes of the Nazi era. Jörg did not hide his surname. He explicitly cited his father's culpable exposed function as the motive for his life's work, turning his academic research into a direct confrontation with the regime his father helped build. Jörg spent over half a century using scholarship to ensure the machinery of death created by the elder Kammler was never forgotten or excused. Hans and Uta Kammler had 4 other children who survived to adulthood, but they chose a path distinct from both Jörg's public reckoning and their mother's underground networking. These siblings chose absolute silence. They avoided memoirs, interviews, and academic debates, effectively removing themselves from the public record. This erasure was so complete that researchers today can barely confirm basic details about their careers, locations, or descendants. These children responded to their history by withdrawing from it entirely, choosing a silence that allowed them to escape the public shadow of the Kammler name. Within one family, 3 distinct ways of coping emerged: the mother's legal survival, the son's career-long indictment, and the other sibling's total withdrawal. These represent how individuals respond to a legacy of trauma, through self-preservation, conscience, and the choice to simply walk away. The question of whether Hans Kammler escaped to America or died in that forest near Prague may never be resolved. The documents are incomplete, and the witnesses are long dead. But the story of the family he left behind is fully documented. It reveals the certainty of how they were forced to live in the harsh light of the history he created. History is carried by those left in the aftermath, leaving us to consider which path we would choose if we inherited the unforgivable.